What is up, YouTube? It is your boy JoeWo, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys the top 5 things that you need to know for season 2 of Warzone, which launches today. I was invited on a private call with Activision and Call of Duty with a ton of other creators around the world, and actually got an inside look on Call of Duty's plans for the next season, this season, and the game moving forward. Also, real quick, I am actually live right now over on Twitch. If you guys would like to check that out, the link is in the description, playing the brand new Resurgence Mode and season 2. I would love for you guys to stop by. Now let's get straight into this crazy update. To start off with, the first bombshell that they dropped on us is ranked play is coming to Warzone. Now I know this has kind of been thrown around a little bit, and they actually confirmed that in the next upcoming season they're gonna be bringing ranked play to Warzone. Now this is kind of wild because I was kind of against that for a long time, knowing that the game doesn't have a massive skill gap like we had in Warzone 1, but honestly at this point I am down for anything because the game kind of is stale right now. There's not a good reason to grind, and I feel like bringing in reasons to play, kind of to have a cool rank, kind of be top 250 in the world like they're doing with ranked play and multiplayer, will be a massive win for the game. So in case you guys missed it, there's going to be a ranked mode for multiplayer, which I think is really cool to have a reason to grind. Now they're going to have a ton of really cool items that if you get like top 250 in the world, you'll get a custom skin which you can show off obviously in other lobbies. And I think that's a very good thing because that gives people kind of a passion and a reason to grind, to flex off cool camos, cool attachments, cool emblems, cool skins, things like that. And I think that'll be really cool moving forward for Warzone. Now ranked play for Warzone is going to be very interesting because we obviously have no details on it yet, but they did confirm it's going to happen. So if you guys haven't played like Apex Legends ranked or Fortnite or things like that, you know that if you die in those higher ranked lobbies, you lose a ton of RP, which would kind of be ranked points for Warzone. It's going to be based on more kills, more wins. Are they going to change up the attachments you can use, the items you can use? It's very interesting. We'll see in the future, but I think this is a win and definitely something to grind for later. The second thing you guys need to know with season 2 is that combat records are coming back. Now for all of Warzone 1, we obviously had websites, in-game ways to check the leaderboards, win stats, all that jazz, which was very cool. But in case you guys didn't know, up until now, we've had no stats that we're tracking in Warzone 2. Now this means starting today, you can actually track your KD, your wins, your stats, all that jazz, which in my opinion are very important. I like to track that and see how I'm improving as a player overall for the week, for the month, what guns I'm using, what stats I have with the best guns, and all that jazz. That stuff really can help you improve and show you if you're actually progressing as a player and you're trying to learn all that stuff. It's very important, and it's kind of something that got slipped under the rug, that for a long time we had no stats. And this is a great way to also kind of have a grind in a game, because if you have no stats that are tracking, you have no ranked mode, in my opinion, you're basically playing for no reason. But now that stats are tracking and we have a combat record back, that's a good save and a big W in my opinion that we should have had in general. Coming in hot with number 3, and my favorite change in Warzone so far, is Call of Duty is adding in plating and running. Now on the dev call, they didn't specifically say running, but they said plating and increased movement speed. They didn't have an exact number for us, but they just said we had to test it out when it drops and play it. But either way, I think this is the best change they are making, because right now, before this update, there was no finesse ability, that's even a word, or no way to maneuver around teams like you could in Warzone 1. Now with being able to plate and run, this is going to add a whole new dynamic to the way that you're fighting teams, approaching teams, and kind of how there is that in-between in battles. The crazy thing to me is on the previous call long ago that we had with the devs, they actually said that they wanted to have a downside to plating. What? And basically wanted to punish players for plating, and I could understand if they were going to go that route, but why can I literally swim at Michael Phelps speed underwater and plate? So the philosophy that the developers had with their plating and moving thing was already messed up from the start, but I'm glad they're getting back on the right track. I just hope it's not too late. But hands down, number 3 is my favorite change that they are doing, because definitely adding plating and running is just going to change the way the game feels, and I hope this is almost at a full sprint rate. but we'll see how it plays today. Coming in hot with number 4, Call of Duty confirmed that they are going to be doing a ton of weapon balancing and gun changes, which I think is a massive win and a much needed change. Since the beginning of Warzone 2, we've literally only had the RPK and the Fennec as metas. Yeah, you can throw in like the TAC 56, the Vaznev, the TAC V, but the best guns in the game, hands down, were the Fennec and the RPK, and we're due for a much needed change. Now, one of the things that had me a little bit nervous on the call was the developers were hinting at buffing the battle rifles a lot. And if you guys remember, the battle rifle concept goes back to Warzone 1. And that's like the DMR. So be on the lookout for more JoeWo videos. We may have a DMR meta on the horizon, which that was an interesting time in Warzone to say the least. But overall though, I think this is a massive change that is much needed because we have been using the exact same guns for a very long time now. And I really do hope that they buff and nerf a ton of guns. And I really hope that they kind of change how guns feel and gunplay. I would love to see a faster ADS, sprint to fire, strafe speed. As you guys know, in Caldera and Rebirth and Fortune's Keep, we had a lot of guns that had some crazy strafe speed as you were ADSing and shooting. And I think that can really help the pace and movement of the game. And I think it's needed. So overall, I think it's a great change. I'm hoping they buff a lot of the sprint to fire, the ADS, and all that, but we'll see, and we'll see what the new meta is. Now, coming in hot with number 5, I got some more info about the Ashika Island Resurgence Map. Real quick, if you guys learned something new today or enjoyed today's video, it would be much appreciated if you guys would like to subscribe down below. I'm coming with a ton of content for Season 2. Now, we know that there's going to be a brand new Resurgence Map dropping, and I had a big question for the developers, and that was, is the pings and UAVs gonna work the same in Ashika Island like it did in Rebirth and Fortune's Keep in Warzone 1? And the answer I got was it is. And you guys know the biggest thing in Warzone 1, Resurgence, Rebirth, was UAV pings when you got kills were crucial for fast-paced and high-kill games. And I was very nervous. As you guys know, we can only buy one UAV from buy stations in Warzone 2. If they were going to kind of limit that also in the new Resurgence map, but they confirmed that there will be UAV pings for every kill you get, which I think this is incredible. They also are going to add in a new system where for the first time that you die, if you pick up the person's dog tag that you killed, you get a UAV ping for the dog tag. Now, this is kind of an interesting change. We'll see how it plays out. But the main thing that I was concerned about was if you were going to get the UAV pings for every kill, because that was so key in Resurgence, Rebirth, Fortune's Keep, that made the gameplay feel much faster and could get you those high kill games. They also just released the patch notes as I was sitting here, and they had a massive change. In the patch notes, it says there is going to be plating and running. It says global plating animation speed is increased by 25%. So this is going to help small map and Resurgence a ton to help us re-engage into gunfights. It also says movement speed increased while plating, massive W, and also players can now sprint while plating. Originally on the call, they told us it wouldn't be a sprint, but now in the patch notes, it says sprinting. It also says we can bust through doors, and obviously a ton of gun changes and stuff, which we'll be going over in the future, but this is the biggest change, which I think is going to change the pace of the game and everything else. The best thing I've seen all day today, plating and running, is back. Like I was saying, I am live right now over on Twitch playing the brand new map, all the new season stuff, if you guys would like to check it out, and hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I love you guys, I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!